This video is about different controllers for the PlayStation 4. Now when I mean different controllers for different type of games. I'm sure Sony can manage this. For instance, like a fighting game gamepad. Now with a fighting game gamepad, all you really need is a directional pad and let's say a 6-button layout is really recommended for like fighting games. Now you see these fighting game controllers here. Yeah, these are good controllers here. But they're also third-party controllers and they're not wireless. My question is there any way possible Sony, the makers of PlayStation 4, to make an absolute 6-button layout D-pad fighting game gamepad? Is it possible for them to do that? Now this video is really for you, Sony. Can you make your own PlayStation 4 fighting gamepad? I'm sure you could do that. I'm sure you can put that D-pad that's in the DualShock 4, you can put it in a little fighting pad and have the button laid out like these fighting game controllers you see here. These are excellent fighting game controllers, but they're just third party, and you have to go through USB. And I'm not comfortable with that. I like to go next gen. I believe everything must be wireless. Now, you being a high-end company as you are, Sony, I'm sure you can make a nice gamepad to the ones you see here. I'm sure you can do that. These are simple fighting gamepads. Is there any reason why you can't make these gamepads for your PlayStation 4 console for the fighting games? A Bluetooth wireless with rumble and the headset port jack on the bottom of the gamepad. I'm sure you can do that for fighting games. There's a lot of fighting games out there that's really good. I'm sure they're coming out to the PS4. But we definitely need a official Sony-made gamepad for the PlayStation 4 with Sony's D-pad and the button laid out like this controller here, but Bluetooth wireless, made by Sony. I'm sure you other gamers agree. If you other gamers agree with me, give me a strong like. That's only if you agree, because I strongly feel a third party is not as good as the official controller, the official maker. If Sony can give us a nice gamepad for the next generation PlayStation 4, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. These controllers here you're looking at here, they're nice and everything. It just doesn't feel the same as button pressing for the official controllers here. And I have another question for you, Sony. Your DualShock 4 is an award-winning controller. Now, I mentioned this before in my other video. There's got to be some way you can make a DualShock 4 for the PS3. There's no reason why you can't put that DualShock 4 on the PS3 to replace that DualShock 3, because that DualShock 3 controller, it really doesn't feel as good as your DualShock 4. And if that would just bring more life to the PS3. If you, Sony, can make a DualShock 4 for the PS3, that would be absolutely phenomenal. If you other gamers agree with me on that, give me a like or give me comments on what you think. A DualShock 4 for the PlayStation 3. Can you imagine that? Now they can get rid of the touchpad because the PlayStation 3 doesn't support touchpad. Everything else will stay the same. But we need that DualShock 4 handling, that feel, that trigger button feel. It feels really comfortable. A DualShock 4 for the PS3 is all I ask. I'm sure you other gamers out there agree with me. If you like what I've said, please subscribe and watch my other videos on other game requests that I made. And give me a like if you like what you heard or seen in this video. Thank you for watching.